Vroom, vroom. Why I decided to go live at the top of a steep driveway, I don't know. Good morning. Well, is it? Is it though? Mondays. Oh, it doesn't matter if you work full time or part time. Mondays are always shit. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. I'm not going to shoot anyone, but yeah, it's so weird that Monday-itis, if you work a few days a week, still exists. Hey, cement shoes. Yeah, I thought I wanted to go live because I wanted to thank the groovers of this beautiful community for their love and support for Tamara Miss T and her family and what they're going through in Queensland. I haven't had a chance to check out the news or anything this morning because, as usual, Monday I wake up with plenty of time to get ready and get to work, and then I faff around. And Sunny's, my beautiful Sunny cat, has turned a corner, and she really wanted to play this morning and wanted me to chase her around the house, which I did for like half a fucking hour. Hello, beautiful Emily. I love that you've got the Ukrainian flag. They stand out. So it's such a gorgeous flag. Stand out so much online. If I was still doing shit on Facebook, which I'm not anymore, I've kind of shut my profile down, but it's still there because of my communities that I started on Facebook. And if I take it down, the communities will just vanish. So I still access my community, but yeah, I don't do the facey anymore. But if I was, I'd definitely have the Ukrainian flag floating around. Oh, that's so cute, Emily. Thank you. And yeah, next month, I was only thinking about it last night. Next month, this community is going to adopt a baby kangaroo. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know. Might have to do a show and get you guys to vote, but I'm pretty sure everyone. Did we vote last time? Did we vote last time and everyone said kangaroo? See, Monday. A lot going on. I like it though, the colours. It's like sunrise and sky and the sea and sand, and they're Tory colours. Blue's my favourite colour and yellow is Sunny's favourite colour. So it's almost like a flag we should have hanging outside our house. I did have the news on this morning though. I was listening to, unfortunately, the updates from the Ukraine, and if anyone is hoping this is going to be a short-lived thing, you're sadly mistaken. It's going to go on for possibly decades. So it's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. That's right, we did. Yeah, kangaroo. See, my brain's not quite in Monday mode yet. Mondays are interesting for me. If the first thing I do or see on a Monday morning is peaceful or beautiful, like a sunrise, or gentle, it sets me up for a really good day. But if the first 5 minutes is, and I don't put the news on until I've at least had half my coffee, but if the start of my day is something negative or toxic, it sets me up badly for the day. You guys like that? Hey, Shady Man. Because Mondays are hard enough for some reason. I still get a little bit anxious on Sunday nights before Monday, just like, oh, God, I've actually got to get up and put on. I mean, I get up at 5:30 every morning, but it's very different when you get up at 5:30 to go to work than when you get up at 5:30 to do stuff, on your day off. Oh, they sound divine, Emily. And you'll have to, I've been letting people know gradually too that some of my Facebook friends that are on this channel, I'm still using Messenger to keep in touch with friends. And so if you ever want to share stuff with me, because I seriously, I have to be really strict about Facebook. I closed it down for a reason. It was just messing with my head too much. I'm one of those people in the surveys and pardon me, research that they've been doing over the last few years saying make it failed. And we're back just in time to see the recliner on the side of the road with its two new buddies on the side of the road. For civility housing, they've had a very difficult time. I check my emails. Tamara's reception and Wi-Fi drops in and out a lot, just to see how they were doing. But there were more floods, a lot more rain yesterday, so I hope that they're safe and dry, and doing okay as best as they can. So I really just wanted to thank you guys, because we launched a little fundraiser last Thursday, and they'd already been able to replace a few things that they'd lost in the original flood. So hopefully those things are high and dry and aren't going to get damaged as well. And just sending out so much love to everyone affected by the floods. I mean, there's people in other parts of the country that are returning to the towns where they live, and their houses were totally underwater. Even one of our members here on Chasers of Nuts, one of our little community members, knows someone whose house was completely underwater, and there were a lot of houses like that. Imagine that, just returning to the horror that awaits. Thanks, Emily. It means a lot, that the YouTube is another way of global community supporting each other. And, COVID, I think some people started to realise that we're a global community and we're not as big as we like to think we are. And at the end of the day, we're all human beings that all have the same emotions and feelings wherever we are. And it's one of the reasons I like this platform, because you can reach out to people when they need love or help. And just the support. I know that Tamara, in her last email to me, she was so touched that people even were sending messages of hope to her, like no expectations from her at all. But just knowing people around the world who she's interacted with on YouTube care about them is, that's made her feel so much better with everything they've got to deal with. We'll be in Crawley traffic soon, so I'll be able to read chat. But just wanted to say you guys are grouse. That's a word I haven't used for a long time. An Aussie word, grouse. You need to Google grouse, Grouse. But you guys are grouse. Oh, Emily, honestly, they don't expect anything. I mean, thank you. That's really sweet of you. They don't expect anything. So they're overwhelmed by just the fact that people care. Obviously, it's going to help them a lot. They've really had a shitty time. For those of you who know Tamara and Jessie, even vaguely, you'll know that she's always bright and bubbly despite the shit that their family's going through. And she's a little fighter and a survivor, and got to admire her. you know. But with three little kids, to have to sort of deal with it. And when I asked Tamara how she was feeling, the first word she used as an adult was scared. You can imagine what it's like for little ones, right? Yeah, grouse does mean very good. Uh, grouse. You're all grouse. Yous are all grouse. That's a very bogany sentence. Yous are all grouse. I couldn't believe it when I went to America and people in America say yous, like to make you, um, what's the word? Plural. They say yous. And I thought that was such an Aussie thing. But when I went to America, there are Americans who say it too. But yeah, yous are all grouse. Very Aussie sentence. Grouse Mouse, here she is. Hi, Francesca. Was just talking about your friend. I mean, didn't go into great detail except just to say that their floods are affecting a lot of people, and just mentioned your friend in Lismore. Oh, Shady man, thank you. I will pass that on. I'll do a conversion from pound into Aussie dollar, and I'll flick it straight to her. Thank you. And I won't deduct YouTube's 33% or whatever the frig it is. Thank you so much. That's really sweet of you. And yeah, just keep sending positive vibes and thoughts because, and there's so many Australians who've lost their houses. They can't even tally the amount of homes that are lost now because some of them literally floated away. There's so many people struggling. It's just insane. And even though Queenslanders are used to flooding, this one's been an absolute shitter. That was actually an article I read yesterday or the day before Saturday. Whenever I did my last live about this Saturday, they don't want people to keep saying it's a 1 in 1,000 year event because it'll make people become complacent and think that they're not going to have really bad floods like this again, when it's quite possible we will. In fact, it's still flooding. So they have asked people to drop that, and I know it's in a description I wrote for one of my lives. Might have been the live where we kicked off the fundraiser last week. I need to change it because it's a really valid point, even if it's factually correct. But, they're saying, well, how can you even say that? Because there's no records of anything weather-wise from 1,000 years ago. But they just said, yeah, it's a really bad way to label any natural disaster. And I thought that was a really good point. Everyone's grouse. You thought grouse was complaining. Nah, that's whining and whinging. Because you guys don't say whinging either. I remember when I first came to YouTube and I'd talk about whinging, and although Emily, you would, because Tim Minchin in the lullaby, and you don't hear them whinging. You'd be using that word now, I reckon. That's probably my favourite line in the lullaby song, actually. Hey, Crime Scene Cleaner, how are you, gorgeous? But you don't hear them whinging. So, yeah, I've perked up a bit on my Monday morning. Mondays, they just suck. Even when you love your job, I know what's in my calendar for today because Friday was feral and we were understaffed again. And a heap of shit got piled onto me for today. And I'm like, well, I'm the one that's here working now. Pile it on the people that aren't here now. But nope. So I'll just suck it up and get it done. But yeah, Mondays, it's more the psychology of Mondays and just needing, you want the day to kick off well. You whinge and whine. Oh God, Aussie Married at First Sight. There's a pommy dude, and he and his new wife were on their honeymoon last night, or maybe not last night, but last week. I don't know. I think I saw it last night. And he, oh, sorry, no, it's the previous season that Lily put me onto that, well, we found it together. It was a season hey, Pickle, it was a season neither of us watched. So sorry, no, it's an old season, but they went on their honeymoon and she was whinging all day when they went skiing, and he said, bloody hell, mate, all my friends call me a whinging Pom, and I've just spent the day with a whinging Aussie. She was a whinging Aussie. Yeah, the skies are amazing today. Well, they always are. And you get a panoramic view too, which helps. But we're going to be crawly for a while now, because I left home a bit later than usual because I was getting to work 45 minutes early, and I'm like, nah, let's see what happens if we leave a little bit later. I'll probably get there right when I'm meant to start. We'll see. I'm still learning what it's like to be a commuter again after working from home for 2 months. So I haven't quite got my head around the best time to leave home. And the roadworks have made the trip quicker. So that was why I was getting into town so early. But we'll see. What a waste of wedding cake and ceremony. They spend a shitload on the wedding. Those weddings are beautiful weddings. And I'm not really a wedding person, but they throw good weddings in that show, and they wouldn't be cheap at all. Hey, Michelle P., how are you doing? So, yeah, thank you, Groovers. And then I also want to thank Mel, who put a video up on the weekend. Wendy V's put up a community post, and she says traces of nuts in her groovers. Because obviously the more people that know the different groups and communities on YouTube that know, the better. And I also know Tamara's kind heart as well. Like, she would give anyone her last dollar if they needed it. She's that kind of a girl. But also I want to tap into communities, like community fundraisers and, putting together toiletry bags and things like that as well. You're all right? I am well, thank you, despite it being a Monday. I'm going to work. But I'm going to work in a top I would fit into it last year, but it was so tight it squashed my boobies. I'm wearing that today and it's loose, so that's something to be happy about. Getting some of my wardrobe back because I can actually wear it without walking around like a scarecrow or a thunderbird when you're wearing clothes that are too tight. Currently in Tasmania, in Hobart, in southern Tasmania, it's a balmy 11 degrees Celsius. Heading for a top of 22, which isn't bad. Oh, thanks, Emily, for the caps reminder too. Thanks, mate. So Sunny is well and truly back and now demanding full attention. It's like, could you have found some middle ground? You've gone from completely ignoring me, actually disliking me and living on my bed, to now wanting me to chase you around the house forever. Every vet, every website on the planet says you only need to play with a cat for about 5 minutes. They get really bored really quickly. No. Sunny actually gave me the look of, Is that it? After I stop playing and chasing her. Like, I get so much exercise in the morning with that cat because she gets the zoomies and she likes to be chased. Like, I get out of breath. It's my morning exercise. It's crazy. There are links as well on my community page under Mel Mel's video and on Wendy V's community page, the links to Tamara's PayPal and also email. If you don't have PayPal, you can also email her directly, but their Wi-Fi and internet is so bad, so don't get upset if you don't hear back from her straight away. And she's probably being bombarded in every direction. Well, I know she is because she's now in a well, I mean, obviously all the insurance and emergency fund stuff, but also, well, they didn't have insurance, but also the landlord and real estate. There's a whole heap of stuff going on. So she may not get back to you very quickly, but I'm passing on her gratitude and love to everyone. We're taking care of 2 cats. Are they Zoomers? But yeah, my community page has got the links. So I think Mel put them under the description of her video. They might even be on the screen as well. And then Wendy V's put a post up with them in there as well. So thanks to those 2 girls as well for spreading the word over the weekend. Really appreciate it. What else is news, Groovers? I've said my thank yous. I'm driving safely. We're crawling along. Anyone got any they want to talk about? Get off your chest. Share some happy news. Someone else might tune into this on their Monday morning and be like, "Ooh, I feel uplifted." Look at that sky. Look at that sky. And it's so beautiful. I love the causeways because I'm looking at cranes, not building cranes, like bird cranes, out in the water foraging for food because it's low tide. Some mornings I get to see pelicans landing on the water when it's like a mirror. It's so beautiful. Won't let you copy it. Oh, that's okay. At least everyone knows where they are. They can go there if they want to send a message of love to Tam and her family. The exploding whale and the damaged car. I know, it's a classic, isn't it? I was a bit bummed though, the last video I played, because that was an Australian show, but someone in America had found it and there were all these Americans commenting on it, but the original footage was what I thought I was playing. And it's so funny seeing the host, Ernie Sigley, and how he handles that guy doing his hammy. It is a beautiful drive. Yeah, that'd be a great idea. We'll have to tee it up with Mel. A dual live would be gorgeous. In fact, it's a great idea anyway, Emily, because, you know, we've got opposite seasons. So to have me sort of sitting on a beach and you, like, showing the frozen lake. Oh, it was my live on the weekend. We did another live for Tamara and then just decided to have a bit of a laugh, and I showed some of my favourite videos of all time. Armageddon! Hey, Green Eyes. Good morning. Mr. Bendy. That's a good name for him. Turns out he wasn't that bendy. And that friggin' outfit. Holy shit. with the sequined cock hammock bit, and oh my god. And then his hammy went and it all turned to shit. Green eyes. Oh, oh, oh. You were just going to shout Armageddon? For those of you who don't know, look at my live from Saturday, and then we chat a lot about the floods and Tamara and her family and what they're going through, and well, anyone affected generally. And then I decided we'd just have some giggles, so I showed 3 videos of joy and happiness and hilarity. See you, Francesca. Thanks for dropping in, gorgeous. Have a beautiful day. I hope your Monday is a good one because you had some traces of nuts happiness before your day kicks off. Outlander returns tonight. I never got into Outlander. I'm juggling 2 shows at the moment, and it's hard because they're on the same time on different channels. But I'm an absolute Australian. Well, I'm a Survivor fan, although the last American season of Survivor was shit. I'm sorry, it was. Don't fuck with the format when it's been so successful. Like, you get to 32 seasons of it or whatever it was and fuck with it? No. And Jeff, I don't know what Jeff has done to his face, but he looks wrong. And the whole thing looked Technicolor and weird. It was like, you know how they've added Technicolor to the Wizard of Oz? It's just not the same now. Like, it's wrong. So yeah, I showed some. Oh yeah, so there's a season of Australian Survivor going at the moment, and there's a girl in it who has just done the most cunty stuff out of anyone. She constantly does the opposite of what she's doing, and she's throwing her really good friends under the bus, and she's a snake. But then I'm also watching the current Australian season of Married at First Sight, and there's a girl in that who's also an absolute cunt, and she got her ass kicked last night, and it was joyful. And my neighbour and I are both horrified that we're so invested in Married at First Sight, but we are. I'm going to actually say to her, we need to watch the grand final, like the final night together. You're sucked into Outlander. Yeah, well, then I'm also sucked into an earlier season of Australian Married at First Sight because my niece came to stay. We looked for something to watch and then went, fuck it, let's watch a season of Married at First Sight that we haven't watched. And they were the most bland people at the start of it. And I was like, oh, I really don't care if I follow this or not. But after Lily and I watched 2 episodes, I'm like, oh, fuck, now I'm booked on that too. And there's another season of The Amazing Race happening at the moment, another show I adore. And they started the race and then had to pull the pin because of the COVIDs. And they were filming in Tasmania during the COVID. So I'm totally hooked on that now too. And I don't watch commercial television. Like, I have a free-to-air TV down in one of the spare rooms, and I really only watch it usually for the Australian AFL Grand Final, the Australian Open, the tennis, and Survivor. But now that fucking telly is in my living room, and my smart TV, which is usually the hub of all entertainment when it comes to screens, is down in the spare room. Oh, Married at First Sight's hilarious, and the Australian one is really funny. Someone, who was it in chat the other day? Was it you, Shady Man? Someone was in chat the other day saying they love the Australian one because there's so much drama and scandal. But yeah, Trainwreck Palooza. I think Green Eyes mentioned. It's compelling viewing, and they just every season they just find more and more really unlikable people, which, like a bit like YouTube. I think people watch it because they look at it and go, fuck, I thought I had issues. Turns out I'm not that bad. And more rubber lips and Botox. And then bring on Love Island. That's another show I got addicted to during all the bloody self-isolation and stuff. Unfortunately, I'm totally addicted to that too. Oh, my God. I mean, I've always loved reality shows. I have. I think my real world is so intense that reality shows are a great laugh for me. Why's Green Eyes saying no? I don't know what that means. No. Oh, Love Island? Yeah, sorry. Again, though, it's because of all of the people on it. It's like YouTube. It's the same thing. It's just looking at and how can these people be real? But there's another girl in the current Australian Married at First Sight called Kate, who's got the biggest rod up her ass, and she got her ass kicked last night too. But you look at it and go, there's no way she's acting. There's no way. That is her. And she's one miserable, lemon-sucking motherfucker. They've got experts, Shady Man. They have a psychologist and a relationship expert, and they're all kind of work in the area of relationships. I can't remember the official roles that they've all got, but they're regarded as experts on how to have a good relationship. And it's interesting, like they do make a lot of suggestions and get them to do a lot of exercises and stuff which work. Like it does have some substance, except that they're working with absolute fucking fuckers. You're dead, the miserable lemon-sucking motherfucker. She is, though. That guy that's paired up with her has essentially been ignored. I mean, look, okay, to give you an example, he's making such an effort. And, the experts get to watch what they're doing. It's all being filmed. And he's just put up with so much shit from her because she's just this sour, shitty, don't touch me. But she's just been awful, right? And I mean, look, no, it's no. Don't get me wrong, but it takes me a while to let someone touch me, and suddenly she's sitting there saying he's bought her perfume. He's tried to have really good conversations with her, and she's just been an absolute fucking mole. And the experts, she told the expert they have this weekly thing called a commitment ceremony, whether they decide whether they're going to stay or leave. And she's sitting there. We've all been watching this girl who's just been nothing but a cow. And she's saying she's making an effort to make it work, but nothing's working. And they look at her and they say to her, so give us an example of something you've done to try and make this work. And everyone in that room and everyone around Australia watching it, we're all going, she's done fucking nothing. In fact, everything she's done is to make sure this thing doesn't work. She hasn't done one thing. So they ask her, give us an example, Kate, of something you've done to try and make this work. And she's sitting there going, Like even she can't think of something she's done because she's done nothing. And then she says, well, I'm making an effort by being there. And the experts are looking at her incredulous. And there's a guy, one of the experts is this dude called John, who is great. I really like him. He's all about reality checks, and he doesn't deliver the news with, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. And he's incredulous, and he looks at this girl and he says to her, are you legit saying that you're making an effort simply by being in the same room with this guy? And she said, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm there. Just by being in the room, I'm making an effort. Oh, my God. You don't know me at all. Hello, gorgeous. Haven't seen you forever. Do they keep the rings? I don't know. Quite a few of them have been thrown away and out into the ocean. And oh, shit, what was that show? There's another show that I do like on Netflix. Love is Blind. The couples that hook up and they haven't seen each other before. And, yeah, there was an episode where a wedding ring got flung into a pool. That was pretty awesome. Hi, reflections of the day. I'll be able to chat again when we get to the car park. But as you guys know, on these drives into work, I'm about to be cruising down the highway in the hot, hot sun. How bizarre. Still think that song doesn't make sense. Even though someone did explain to me the lyrics, I still think it's silly. I still think Eskimo Joe's song Sarah is stupid. The song is called Sarah. The first line of the song is, Sarah, won't you tell me your name? You just fucking said her name. It's Sarah, you fuckwit. What a dumb lyric. And that song, Happy, makes me angry. And nothing makes me, well, very few things make me angry. But that song, Happy, oh, it flips my tit, ironically. Just enjoy the sky, the scenery, and my Monday-itis whinging. Yeah, how bizarre to be driving on a highway in the sun. I mean, what the fuck? Speaking of highways, the highway to the danger zone. Where's the danger zone? Like, seriously. And don't you reckon with GPS now, people will be able to find it? Like, where the fuck is the danger zone? There's a whole song about being on a highway to it, but it never tells you where the danger zone is. And why would you drive to a danger zone? Like, you're kind of asking for trouble, right? There's plenty of other highways I'd be happy to be on, like the Freeway of Love, for example. But why would you take a highway that's going to take you to a danger zone? Yeah, that's CloudWatch. So, yeah, this live was to say thank you to everyone for your love and support of Tamara, Miss T. Lee and her family. One of literally hundreds of thousands of people in Australia who's been affected by the floods in Queensland and New South Wales. We've actually got a flood alert today, but it's up in the north and it's a river that's expected to flash flood. I don't think the rain's going to make it down to this end of the island, but it won't be anything like what's going on the mainland. But it was interesting to see a flood warning pop up on my phone. I don't know if anyone's cruising in, but g'day groovers. Anyone watching the replay, hello. Really just wanted to say thank you to this awesome community for all the love and support you've been offering to Tamara and her family, and of course there's a lot of other people affected as well. So I'm going to try and find in fact, we've got a charity at work that does them locally for single mums and teenage mums, but I want to put together some toiletry bags, you know, with all the basic stuff that you need: toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, sanitary stuff. I'll see if the charity we donate to at work is doing it nationally, because getting a nice fresh pack of toiletries would make you feel so much better. I just feel for them. And of course, friend Finn, my co-host on Batshit, he's also in Brisbane dealing with the aftermath of the floods. I've been checking in on him, and if he needs anything, or if there are people in his area that might need some help, I'm going to do a little live for that as well. But so far he's just saying that it's shit, but he'll be okay. But their house, you know, was in the flood areas as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of people in our community impacted. Francesca's got a beautiful friend whose house was completely underwater. Just keep hearing the saddest stories. But I love that, and I just wanted also to thank Velma, who put a video up on the weekend, and Wendy B's put a community post up. The more people who know about Tam and her family and what they're going through, the better. Thanks, Shady Man. And I do let him know that everyone's been sending messages of love as well. I'm not sure when he needs to go back to work either, but what was so sad for Finn was that he was at work, and he doesn't work where he lives, like he works interstate. But he was at work when the flooding happened, and he had to come home to it, like, pretty full on. So I'll ask him if there's anything that he needs or anything we can do for him as well. But he's back to flicking me videos that he wants me to watch. In the middle of all the shit that's going on, he's like, hey, check this out. So, yeah. He seems to be doing okay, and I have asked him if he needs anything, and he said, no, I'll be fine. It's just a pain in the ass. So, but I'll double check, you know, because obviously if we can help him out too, if he needs anything or there's something in the area where they're fundraising, he'll let me know, and we can get involved in that as well. Yeah, Finn's in Queensland. He's in Brisbane, which is the city that got really badly fucked over 2 Sundays ago. And they've still got floods and rain and storms happening. It's awful. Like, a lot of people put in, you know, you've got to sort of clean when you can, but they clean knowing that it's going to happen again, and they're going to have to clean again. But if you can't get stuff out of your house and mud out of your house, even though you know it's going to flood again, you've got an even bigger issue to deal with. So it's quite interesting. I mean, it's awful reading it because you realise how full on it is, but it is quite interesting reading the articles giving advice on how to do a flood cleanup. It's full on. And absolutely everything gets contaminated. So when you see all these piles outside homes and outside shops and stuff, like seeing the supermarkets having to literally just throw out everything except canned goods, because even things with a screw top lid get contaminated. Like the whole lot has to be chucked out. Um, they cancelled it, did they? I didn't know about that, Green Eyes. Look, Aussies will get through this, and we do rally. There's a part of Australian psyche which I really love, which is mateship, and it stems from our involvement in the wars and the whole Anzac thing, like New Zealanders as well. But we really do look after our mates, and I'm grateful for that, because I have lived in other countries where communities aren't that focused on looking out for each other. They put themselves first. I love that Australians will just put shit on hold if a mate needs something, if a mate needs help. But yeah, psychologically too, like after a flood, what you've got to do in the cleanup, that was a bit of a chaotic thing. We had me and another dude trying to merge and another car trying to get out of the lane. That was seamless, but a bit chaotic. I can't read your comments much, Green Eyes, because they're in lowercase, and I don't think you can do uppercase. But when I get to the car park, I'll probably have 5 or 10 minutes. We can have a bit of a chat still. So, oh no, what I did get a glance at what you're saying. I've got to focus on the bridge and the cars and stuff now. But I'll need to have a look at that. It sounds really bad, Green Eyes. I don't know why they did that. You wish more people were like Aussies? No, that's okay, Green Eyes. It's just a bit hard when I'm driving because I'm blind as a bat anyway. And the phone's a long way from my face. And because StreamYard isn't an app, it's a web browser. When you go on StreamYard, you've got to actually go on a browser. So it's like a website. And everyone knows when you're looking at a website on your phone, they're not always crash hot. But for some reason, they do this huge screen of what I'm watching as I'm driving. And the chat's really small and on the side, and you can only see like 2 or 3 comments at a time. I do glance when it's safe to, but right now on this bridge, all eyes are on the road. But yeah, I mean, Aussies have their issues too. We're certainly not perfect, but I also love that about Australians. We're very self-deprecating. We know that we're dickheads at times as well. But the mateship thing is pretty awesome. And it does run through our blood. Like it's an automatic reaction. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's selfish assholes in Australia too. But the majority of us drop everything if someone needs help. It's just what we do. And if anyone has watched like some of the footage from the floods, even I mentioned it on Saturday, like even this family that was standing on a bank, literally watching their house disappear down a river. And I mean, it's a much bigger river than usual because it's flooded. And this little kid's like, they said, how do you feel about your house washing away? And he's like, I don't care. I didn't like that house anyway. And they've literally just stood there watching everything they own float away. Like, I love the Aussie humour, even in the most tragic situations. I love that most Aussies can still find something to laugh about. I love that. I love that our sense of humour still remains. We don't lose it. In fact, I think it gets us through so much. Our sense of humour. But that kid saying that is such a typical Aussie thing. The mum and dad are kind of going, "Oh fuck, there goes the house." Shit. And this kid's like, "I didn't like that house anyway." Oh dear. And it's real goodness at grassroots level in Aussie too. Like, I'll have to look into what Green Eyes is talking about, but quite often we get screwed over by, the upper echelons and organisations that take huge chunks of money that's donated and all that sort of stuff. But at the grassroots level, people are like, well, fuck, I'm still going to help, or, it doesn't dampen our spirit like adversity at all. In fact, it makes us fire up and be even more courageous and generous and kind. Yeah, Aussie humour is pretty good. I think, because I'm glad we're convict stock. I'm glad that we're descended from criminals. A lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us. Because when I did criminal law, one thing I found all the time, I did act for some pretty shonky fuckers, but for the most part, my clients were funny as fuck. And I think there's something, that, they weren't funny about their victims. And sometimes their victims, they'd burgled a service station or something like that. But they weren't really good criminals anyway because they got caught. But it used to surprise me just how it was a bit of a theme. A lot of them just get really hardened and negative and awful because of being put in jail. Yeah, lots of Irish, lots of Scots, lots of Poms. And see, I love English humour. English comedy shows and movies are brilliant. And yeah, Irish sense of humour. And that's, Aussies get on really well with Canadians because we share a sense of humour too. Like, Canadian humour is really similar. Joey M. Wilson, I saw your name. G'day. I think being able to not take yourself seriously is a really good trait when you're facing adversity. Like, yeah, your house flooding is serious. But at the end of the day, you just got to get on with the cleanup and rebuild and regroup. And it is a serious thing to be going through, but Aussies can still laugh even when they've lost everything. Like, it's insane. Yeah, massive hailstorms. Fuck. See, I haven't actually, I checked my email. I haven't heard from Tamara since Saturday, nor do I expect to, by the way. But they're just copping a never-ending battering. And so, yeah, I just came live to thank everyone for all of your support, like even just the love and support you gave her in chat on Thursday night and then again on Saturday. Like, she really appreciated it. She was blown away. I shouldn't say that. Now it'll get windy up there. See, there's Australian dark humour. And also to thank Mel, who put a video, Mel put a video up on the weekend. Wendy V's put a community post up as well. So Tam's family's PayPal and her email are available. But yeah, she's just so unbelievably grateful and didn't expect anything. but she is figuratively blown away by all of your kindness. So that was really why I wanted to go live on this Monday morning, this sunny Monday morning. It's just so reassuring that, you know, there is community spirit on YouTube as well. And a kind word goes a long way. And it meant so much to her when she was in the chat that you guys were just saying Emily's now the flight attendant on this trip. I like that. Um, you know, there's hope. There's community spirit on YouTube. And it's great to be a part of that. Hello, Ruth Walton. How are you, beautiful girl? Okay, so if I leave home 15 minutes later, which happened because Sunny, who's now back to her former bouncy, playful self, insisted I'd chase her around the house for half an hour this morning. And if she'd had her way, I'd still be chasing her around the house. And I get in with 20 minutes to spare. Perfect. That's nice to know. I saw you mention the potato factory. I read that years ago. So it's good to know I've got 20 minutes to spare. The only thing I didn't frigging do before leaving home was my hair. Oh, look, my park, as always. I'm not going into work a minute early because I have a day from hell ahead of me. You have to boogie. You go boogie, Emily. Thank you so much for all of your love and support as always. And yeah, positive thoughts to Ukraine, to Australia, and any country on the planet that's going through challenging times right now. Our mask mandate's been lifted for most things in Tassie right now, except in the office. I've still got to wear a mask. I can't believe it. I'm going to put some eye makeup on. And I didn't put on earrings either. God damn it. That cat of mine. I'm hoping some hair product that I just grabbed as I raced out the door will tame my beach hair a bit. At least calm it down a little bit. I've got too much hair. I've got to go back to the hairdresser and get it thinned again. Oh shit! And I've got a whopping great bloody mat at the front. Oh my god, Tori. My bed hair is insane. I literally am going to work with bed hair today. Go me. Although my hairdresser Andrew, who's also one of my best friends, he's like, Tori, people pay hundreds of dollars to make their hair look like yours. Be proud. People pay to get beach hair and bed hair, and you've got both. You stay safe too, beautiful Emily. Namaste. Oh, fuck, I found a second mat in my hair. Oh, it's almost a little dreadlock. Oh, I don't think I've got a hair elastic. Oh, there's one on my gear stick. Perfect. Perfect. I'll just do a little messy bun thing. Sorry, my hair looks so terrible today, Groovers. This is me talking to my boss. But I just discovered I've got the beginnings of a dreadlock and another mat at the front. So, yeah. Yes, sunrise is a beautiful way to start the day. And that's the thing with sunny, like it's getting darker here now because we're heading into autumn. Um, but while I'm playing with her, we do get to watch the sunrise. It's pretty awesome. I didn't realise the mask thing had been lifted from lots of businesses. I went into our local grocer yesterday after I'd been at the gym and I had my mask on and I was looking at people without masks on, but it took about 5 minutes for me to go, oh, fuck, we don't have to wear masks in grocery stores anymore. And people were looking at me weirdly because I was wearing one and I couldn't work out why I was getting all these side eyes. And it was because I was wearing a mask. So I took that fucker off in the middle of the shop. I was like, I'm free. There are some things though that I'd still wear a mask to because I don't want to get COVID. I'm sick of them saying, "Oh, we're all going to get it." Hair gel? No, it's a leave-in product. I'll show you. I'll show you. Gel. God, that's just given me 80s flashbacks. It's this stuff. It's Mr. Smith leave-in, and it was taming my hair, but then I found the little dreadlock, and I was like, just put it all up. Queensland lifted mask mandates yesterday. Yeah, we've still got to wear them in offices, unfortunately. But because we do phone advice primarily, at the moment we haven't been doing face-to-face unless we've got a client that doesn't have access to technology to do a teleconference or Zoom or whatever. We haven't been doing face-to-face appointments, so it's been a bummer having. So when we're in our office, we take our masks off, but we've got a sign on the door that says "Please knock" so I can mask up because it's really hard giving complex legal advice with a mask on. It's really, people can't hear clearly, and you want to make sure they know what the advice that you're giving them and what they need to do. So yeah, we've been a bit. Our boss has been, good at giving us a bit of an opportunity to do our jobs without it being too prohibitive. But yeah, I'd still wear one to supermarkets, and there weren't many people in the grocery. Like it's only tiny and little local shop. It's not packed with people, but yeah, we're supermarkets definitely. I'll still wear one, and any kind of event. Not that I'm really keen to go to any events with lots of people, but if I do, I'll definitely wear a mask. So I don't want to get it. That government's like, oh, we've all got to accept we're all going to get it. It's like, no, I'm going to accept I'm not going to get it. You went out on Wednesday to an empty restaurant and had an awesome dinner. Awesome. Freaked out, no masks, and you were still wearing yours. It was weird. The looks I was getting from people, it was like, why is everyone looking at me weird? And it took ages for my brain to go, oh my God, people aren't wearing masks here. Like it literally took a while. It wasn't an instant, oh, fuck, I'm an idiot. I don't need to wear a mask. I bumped into people I knew. I was chatting to them. They weren't wearing masks. Like the penny didn't drop at all until I sort of had the 10th person give me a bit of a weird look. But I will put up with weird looks because it's what was I saying? No. It's a choice, you know. If people want to give me an evil look because I'm not wearing, because I'm choosing to wear one, well, that's on them, not me. Hardcore, yeah. Well, I've got a really close friend at the moment with it. My nephew in Western Australia got it, but he's turned a corner. But he didn't have a great time, and he's like 19 and young and fit and healthy. Um, my friend Kim, who's got it at the moment, she's actually struggling. And then my other nephew, when he had it, he said for him it was 3 days of really bad. Like, you know, and another young, fit guy, and vaxxed as well. So, yeah, you don't want to fuck with it. Well, exactly. I could be. I could be. And I sort of am. I mean, I am a bit, is it what, immunocompromised, immunosuppressed? I wouldn't have an easy time of it because of an underlying health condition. But maybe I would. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you can take a preventative measure so you don't get this fucker, you know, and we've got heaps of clients with long COVID, and I don't want to fuck with that. Long COVID's a nightmare, and we've got quite a few clients who've got it from the Northwest cluster here in early 2020, and they're still living with horrific symptoms. You know, they can't work, they barely, like one girl's still just getting up from her bedroom to go to the bathroom and back. It wipes her out for the day. Like it still takes all her energy. And most of the symptoms are kind of consistent with chronic fatigue syndrome. You don't want to live with that for the rest of your life, even if you are young and fit. You know, like there's not enough data yet about long COVID in younger people, but there's enough to know that if you get it, you're fucked. You know, I'm talking to people every week that are living with long COVID, and it's making me go, I'm going to take as many precautions as I need to. It's not a paranoia or fear thing. It's just being reasonable or sensible. Like, I don't want to get it. And if I did get it and I ended up with long COVID, at least I'm in my mid 50s. I'm not 21 and looking at 60 or 70 years of living with chronic fatigue syndrome. You know, so if I did end up catching it, one of the benefits of catching it is I'm older and I'm not going to be fucking up my entire life with long COVID. So, but some of these young kids that have been going to like COVID parties to deliberately catch it, why? You know, why take that risk? If you end up being that person who does get long COVID, you might be looking back and going, probably shouldn't have gone to that COVID party. Post sepsis syndrome is the same. And I hate seeing people getting long COVID. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, exactly, Green Eyes. I'm with you. It is a personal choice. So please, if you are listening and you're one of those people who gives people dirty looks because they're wearing a mask, like it's your choice and it's their choice. So just let them be. Let it be. And I've lived in Asian countries pre-COVID where wearing a mask was pretty standard amongst Asian people. Super smart, because of all the other things that were floating around that they didn't want to catch, including the pollution they were inhaling. So I've never had an issue with people wearing masks, ever. In fact, I wish in a way we'd all been a bit smarter. But, you know, people used to stare at Asian tourists in Australia wearing masks, saying, what the fuck are you wearing a mask for? Well, now everyone's like, yeah, they were actually pretty switched on. But on that note, once again, a big thank you to everyone for rallying around our lovely Tamara. And Thank you again to Mel Mel for putting a video up over the weekend, and also Wendy B's put up a community post. And thank you all for just being so lovely. And Tamara has constantly been so touched by the support and love. Like the donations are a bonus and they were not expected. But the amount of love she's been getting, that's keeping them buoyed. So thank you, everyone. You're all gorgeous. You're all fucking groovers. You're a gem too, Joey M. Wilson. Have a beautiful day, everyone. I hope Monday isn't too traumatic for anyone. I know I've got a shit of a day ahead, but I also know I'll be sitting in this car in 8.5 hours' time heading home. Woohoo! And then I'll be doing it all again tomorrow. But take care out there, everyone. Look after each other. Yep, we've summed it up perfectly. Oh, kangaroo adoption is coming up in April, yes. And Ruth sums it up beautifully. Have a good day. Everybody stay safe and well, and loves for everyone. Love and hugs for everyone. Take care, beautiful people. I love you, groovers.